Welcome back to Chris and Retro. Man, what a week. It's been an education for me this week for sure. Did a video this week that I got a lot of traction on, and I'm thankful for it. Um, my comments on it, I still stand by, but it did yield some lessons for me. And I look at how that all played out and my intent of what was out there, but really what was I reacting to was really was important to me. And I'll get back to that in a second. But I'm involved in several nonprofits. I try to keep it limited just because of my scale. I mean, I have a day job that I'm pretty thankful for, and it takes a lot of work to do that job. Then doing the show when I can get time to do the show, and then the other work that I believe that I went through a dark season to be available to help with. So that's why I get involved in some of these nonprofits. Well, I just joined a new board for a new organization I'm pretty excited about. It's relative to music and work in the recovery community, and I'm super thankful for it. But in a conversation we had in a board meeting the other day, and between that and the video that I just did, it's revealed something to me that I think is interesting. And so the video I did earlier this week was really targeting one specific event, one video, not the totality of the two individuals that were in the video, but the behavior of both individuals to select that option for doing a public debate about a topic, or even in a genre that people typically are going to seek for help. So if I'm going to seek God and I'm in a situation that I'm struggling, I'm likely to come across God on YouTube or through media in today's day and age, or maybe bump into somebody. But based on our access to phones and everything else, chances are if I'm in a pretty dark place, I'm going to come across some information there that is intriguing to me. The other way around, I'm also going to shut down if I see that type of thing as well. The behavior that I saw in this video and the public debate relative to certain subjects. It was a bad look. It was about that one video, and my target was more about the one person that caused that one video to come into play. The totality of both individuals has a lot of information that's been shared with me, and if it is at all true, some of it's pretty troubling. And I wasn't there to discuss the totality of their mission or anything else. I was saying that one video was a bad look. It's consistent with what I see as I refer back to this nonprofit and the work we're doing. The team there is great, no problem whatsoever. However, to get something like that started and have it coexist with existing programs that are out there is tough, because there's those type of squabbles in that environment as well. So I had to zoom out for a minute. I'm wondering why. So let's move away from religion and God for a minute. Let's talk about addiction. In 2019, we had over 70,000 deaths with overdose. In 2020, we had over 90,000 deaths with overdose. 2021, over 101,000 deaths with overdose. This year, we're tracking for even more than that. That doesn't even tell the whole story. Those are the ones that died from overdose. The other factors in there is how many times were they administered Narcan to stay alive where they would have died in previous years. Let's just say this, the situation is grave. That's going to require everybody to step up and do some work on this to get it better, to improve, to grab the ball and take it back. That's in the addiction community. Now, within that community in our local territory, it's very territorial. We've got treatment agencies that don't collaborate well. Some do behind closed doors with coalitions and cooperatives, but they ostracize other ones because of whatever it is that the financial gain is that they get if they keep them out. Others try to come in and entry into marketplaces and struggle with those as well because of existing territorial lines. Smaller nonprofits have a hard time within their local geography because they have limited resources and they're all competing for these scraps. So instead of working together to become one unit and get what they can, they compete based on their own ideology. My struggle with this is I don't have a problem with the fact that people have their own vision and unique programs and all this other stuff. But when we're all supposedly in this for one larger mission, that is to save lives, who has time for prideful squabbles and territories that they're trying to divide lines on? We should be talking about solutions as a collective body that breaks down those barriers, to come at it as one front, one army against something that's killing our youth. Absolutely killing our youth and destroying their children's future, because many of them are now having children and their future is destroyed as well. As far as I'm concerned, there's very little that's more important in our world right now than addressing that. Now, akin to that is this God component, the spiritual component, and the religious component there. So if I'm in treatment in an addiction setting and I'm seeing all of this fragmented work. So if I go to a fitness program that's relative to recovery, and that fitness program is separate from a treatment provider, and the treatment providers aren't talking together, and I can't get to my best treatment provider because if I start with one, I can't go to the other one. Or if I go to a music program, and in that music program they're not getting along because of heritage stuff with some other nonprofit, it's just, we see this in recovery. At the same time, if I'm now looking at, so if that's going on in my treatment world, and now I'm going to say, well, maybe I'll consider God, and then I go see public debates about theology and what people believe to be true about the Bible or not, man, we really screw up the message somewhere along the line here. And so you've already got a confused mind trailing all these convoluted territorial paths, and as all along the line, that person may be finally trying to find better days, and instead they're walking into territories of people trying to either outword, outsmart, or outfund somebody else. And I'm not saying that I'm some superhuman that looks down towards people and says you should follow me. That's not the case. I just recognize a circumstance this week that came up, that we are more hell-bent on our position in something and the side that we take, as if we're voting for a president or if we're in a political debate on literally everything anymore, that we're forgetting about what we're supposed to be doing, and that is solving these problems. And so we sit back and wonder why these problems continue to perpetuate when the organizations surrounding, assigned to perpetuate them, are getting in internal squabbles and territory debates, including in the church, to treatment providers, to local community health support systems. I'm bothered by that. And, it's not to sit here and say I'm all peace and love. I do try to make sure that in this show and other things as well, that my posture and the message I'm giving is offering hope and letting them know there is a lane, because God knows that's why I'm here, because somebody came to me in like fashion. But it doesn't mean to say that I'm immune to be, territorial. Those that know me closely, I'm a tremendously aggressive personality if I in certain spaces. It's how I'm wired. It's how I was built. If I can lay down that for the greater good, I think we all should consider that. It's not about the position we're taking on things. It's our position in something, or it's about, are we accomplishing the goals that we're supposedly setting out to accomplish? The video I did earlier this week was really specific to the position that I saw as a representation of God to the total community, and for me, from my community, how that would be something that somebody would definitely not seek him if they saw those two individuals on that one video. No matter how gifted or godly or whatever they are or not, that video would have pushed a ton of them away. On the flip side, when we're out in the treatment community, we wonder why people won't come back to our inpatient locations, or we wonder why people are not participating in programs because of the squabbles within the territories. Maybe it's time that we all just kind of take a deep breath, step back, and look at ourselves from the lens of somebody else. How do they see us? Is it accomplishing what we wanted to accomplish? Or is it more important for us to sound like we know what we're doing rather than have somebody come and want what we have? I think the latter is more important. I can remember the person that showed me I wanted what he had. His name's Eric. I wanted what Eric had. I knew it. And what I learned from that season is I should go at any length to get it. And I did. Eric showed me some things, and others showed me some things, and I went to any length to find better days. When we're there, we're really hungry for it, but we're only going to go to the places that we know are aligned with our mission. And when I see these arguments and debates and squabbles and things like that based on knowledge or territory or words or position or money or whatever it is, when I see all that going on, it makes no sense to me. If you've got a debate with somebody, have it in a closed door, but don't expose it to the people that you're supposedly trying to reach. It does not work, and it will hurt your overall program. On this show, the tagline is "It's closer than it appears." I constantly tell people that hope's closer than it appears. I also remind people that destruction's a lot closer than it appears too. And high risk living is not always living just because of substance use or you're doing something shady on your wife. High risk living can be just being cocky and constantly barfing your knowledge all over people. That can be high risk living too, because there's only so far that'll go and you'll collapse. So hopefully I'm not barfing knowledge on you right now, but I am pretty passionate about this. I appreciate your participation in the show so far. We are growing. Please like and subscribe, comment. I love the comments. The comments actually help me course correct and understand what messaging actually resonates with people. I do want this to be something that matters. It's of no value to me to put the time into it if it's not something you find beneficial. So your comments are definitely something that I really appreciate and welcome. And I'm looking for any feedback you have to see if this might be areas we can consider to do better. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to talking to you soon.